Welcome to Chemistry Lover, and this is the 12th lecture of Organic Chemistry Basics to Advanced series. In the previous two lectures I discussed about the nucleophilic substitution reaction at saturated carbon atom, and in the videos previous to that I discussed the basics of organic chemistry, the GOC. So before watching this video I will request you to watch all those videos, otherwise you will not be fully connected with this topic. So in this video I am going to discuss about the addition reaction on carbon-carbon double bond, or in general carbon-carbon multiple bonds. So this is the addition reaction.
तो आज मैं एक नया अनाउंसमेंट करने वाला हूँ कि मैं हिंदी में भी एक चैनल शुरू करने वाला हूँ इस केमिस्ट्री लवर के नेम से ही, पर वो हिंदी में होगा क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोगों ने मुझे रिक्वेस्ट किया है इस चैनल में कि उन लोगों को इंग्लिश उतना अच्छा समझ में नहीं आता, तो हिंदी में करूँगा तो उन लोगों को समझ में आसानी होगी। पर अभी तक मैं शुरू नहीं कर पाया क्योंकि मेरे पास टाइम नहीं था। अभी मैं शुरू करने वाला हूँ तो क्या होगा कि मेरे पास अभी ऑलरेडी इंग्लिश में एक चैनल है और इसमें 400 से ज़्यादा वीडियोज़ है। ओके, तो अभी इसमें बहुत सारा वीडियोज़ हो गया, इसलिए मैं दूसरा चैनल शुरू करने की बात कर रहा हूँ। और मैं ऑलरेडी बंगाली में भी एक चैनल चलाता हूँ, तो अभी 3 चैनल हो जाएगा मेरा, ठीक है। तो इसलिए एक तो होगा कि मैं बहुत ज़्यादा वीडियो नहीं डाल पाऊँगा, तो मैं कोशिश यही करूँगा कि हर चैनल में एक एक वीडियो हफ्ते का डालूँगा, ठीक है। इंग्लिश में एक, हिंदी में एक और बंगाली में एक। और ये भी करूँगा कि तीनों वीडियो का टॉपिक अलग होगा, सेम वीडियो नहीं होगा। तो जिन लोगों को तीनों लैंग्वेज आता है या 2 भी आता है, बहुत सारे लोगों को हिंदी इंग्लिश दोनों ही आता है, तो वो दोनों चैनल से ही बेनिफिट होगा उन लोगों को, तो दोनों ही देख सकते हैं। और जिन लोगों को हिंदी आता है अच्छे से, वो हिंदी से तो उनको बेनिफिट होगा ही, तो यही करूँगा। और बाद में अगर मुझे ज़्यादा टाइम मिले तो इंग्लिश चैनल में मैं शायद 1 से ज़्यादा भी वीडियो डाल सकता हूँ, और हर चैनल में भी मैं 2 वीडियो डाल सकता हूँ। वो डिपेंड करता है कि कितना टाइम मिलता है मुझे, ठीक है। और मेरा हिंदी उतना अच्छा नहीं है, तो इसलिए पहले से ही मैं माफ़ी मांग लेता हूँ, तो ये बात है। तो मैं उस चैनल का लिंक अभी डिस्क्रिप्शन में दे दूंगा, जल्दी से जाके उसको सब्सक्राइब कर दो, हिंदी चैनल को। और एक बात है कि अभी मैं क्या शुरू करने वाला हूँ हिंदी चैनल में, कि इंग्लिश चैनल में तो मैं एक सीरीज़ शुरू कर चुका हूँ कि ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री बेसिक टू एडवांस, तो ये तो चल रहा है। और इसमें अभी न्यूक्लियोफिलिक सब्स्टिट्यूशन हो गया और एडिशन रिएक्शन भी हो जाएगा इस वीडियो में। इसके बाद आएगा, तो ये चलता रहेगा, मतलब एकदम बेसिक से। तो इसलिए मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि हिंदी चैनल में मैं क्या करूँगा, थोड़ा कुछ और चीज़ शुरू करूँगा। तो पहले मैं पेरीसाइक्लिक से शुरू करूँगा उधर, क्योंकि इधर अभी पेरीसाइक्लिक में जाने में बहुत देर है, वो बाद में आएगा। तो उधर से अगर पेरीसाइक्लिक हो रहा है, इधर से इलेक्ट्रोफिलिक सब्स्टिट्यूशन ये सब हो रहा है, तो क्या होगा कि दोनों जगह से अलग अलग चीज़ें मिलेगा, तो आप तुम लोगों को भी हेल्प होगा, ठीक है। तो और बाद में जाके दोनों चैनल में सेम कंटेंट मिल जाएगा आपको। पर अभी इस चैनल में मैं जो डाल रहा हूँ बेसिक चीज़ें वो होगा, और उस चैनल में पेरीसाइक्लिक से शुरू करूँगा, ठीक है। तो यही मुझे कहना है कि जल्दी से जाओ और उस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दो। और अभी एक वीडियो तो ज़रूर मिलेगा हफ्ते का, तो वही है, ठीक है। तो थैंक यू।
So in general, addition reaction we can represent like so. Both nucleophile and electrophile can react with carbon-carbon double bond, but normal double bonds, that is usual double bonds, normal alkenes, they mostly react with electrophile like this. So this is how they react with electrophile to generate a carbocation first. Now we have to consider the molecular orbitals which are involved in this reaction, the HOMO and LUMO. So if you look into the structure of alkene, you will see that alkene composed of pi bond. So it has a pi bond like this, or we can say it the pi molecular orbital, and also the pi star molecular orbital. So it has these 2 orbitals which are the frontier orbitals of alkene, so pi and pi star. And during the electrophilic reaction, this pi orbital or pi molecular orbital is the HOMO of your alkene, and in your electrophile you will have the LUMO. For example, if you consider bromine as your electrophile, so this Br bond, it has a sigma star like this. It has a sigma star, and this sigma star orbital in this case is the LUMO. So how we can represent the reaction? We can represent the reaction like this. So this is our HOMO, the pi orbital, and now let's say bromine is approaching like this. So in bromine you have this LUMO, the sigma star orbital, and from this HOMO of alkene, that is pi orbital, electron goes to the LUMO of sigma star. So this is basically pi to sigma star, and this bond will be broken. So what you will get? You will get this thing. This is called bromonium cation. I will explain it in detail, but for now you just know that this is how the reaction occurs. So from the HOMO of the alkene to the LUMO of the bromine or any other electrophile. Similarly, when we encounter the nucleophilic attack on alkene, what will happen? So in this case, you have the LUMO of alkene, the pi star orbital. So in this case, nucleophile will come and it will have filled orbital, so it will deliver its electron to the pi star. So in this case, electron will go from generally from non-bonding orbital to the pi star orbital, and from that you will get this anion. So when electrophile attacks with electrophile attacks on alkene, you will get carbocation here, and when nucleophile attacks on alkene, you will get carbanion. But most of the reactions of alkene, normal alkenes, are electrophilic reactions. So that's why first we will discuss about the electrophilic addition on alkene. Now what will be the fate of this carbocation? So when this any electrophile attacks, we are saying that we will get some carbocation. Now what will be the fate of this carbocation? Now two things can happen. Either this another part of your system, for example, in your system you may have water molecule, or you may have any weak nucleophile present in your reaction medium. That nucleophile can be added to the other side on this positive center. So you will add two things, one side some nucleophile, another side some electrophile. For example, if we show some real example, so when it reacts with bromine, what will happen? First it will generate this carbocation, and on this carbocation the Br minus which left from this step, it will attack, and you will get addition of two bromine on two sides. So this is one case. Another case may be after the formation of this carbocation. So here you will have hydrogen. If you have hydrogen here, this hydrogen can be eliminated again, and you can again get the double bond back. And for normal double bonds, for normal alkenes, this is the pathway what happens. But for aromatic systems, when the double bond is a part of aromatic system like this, and if it attacks on any electrophile, so it will generate this thing which we call the sigma, which we call the sigma complex, first sigma complex and then this intermediate. So here you will have positive charge, and now in this case you will not get addition of some nucleophile over here. This will not happen, rather this hydrogen will be eliminated to give you this substituted product. So in this case it is not really an addition reaction, rather it is a substitution reaction, but the first step of both of the reactions are same, generation of this carbocation. Why this thing is happening here? Because aromaticity has some extra stabilization energy which is present here. So to get back its aromaticity, it is doing this elimination reaction, and you are getting this substituted product. So when your double bond is a part of aromatic ring, this substitution will occur, but when your double bond is a normal alkene, then this addition reaction will occur. So now first we will discuss the addition of bromine, because this is the most common and representative example of addition reaction. So I have already mentioned that if you have alkene, for example simple ethylene molecule, and if you react it with bromine, so generally the reaction is done in CCl4 like solvents. So what will happen? Your alkene will attack on this bromine, and it will generate this cyclic bromonium ion. So this is called cyclic bromonium intermediate. Many books show it like first it will generate some carbocation like this, and then bromine has a lone pair, so it will again do this neighboring group type participation to give you this cyclic bromonium ion. Both is correct, you can show it either this way or this way, both are correct, but the fact is you will get this cyclic bromonium ion. Now on the cyclic bromonium ion, another Br minus molecule which is removed in this step, that will attack, and it can attack from either side, from this side or from this side, but you will get the same product, and out of this you will get a product like this. Now how we can prove that this cyclic bromonium ion is forming and the reaction is not going through this open carbocation? So there are two evidence for this. One is the stereochemistry of the product. For example, if you use some alkene which will generate the chiral center in your molecule, for example, if you take this one where you have hydrogen, here you have this methyl group and this hydrogen and this methyl group, so this is a cis alkene. And if you do reaction with Br2, so we have seen that first it will generate this cyclic bromonium ion to give you this intermediate. Now on this intermediate your Br minus will attack from here, and if it attacks from here you will get this product. So Br this. So now you can see this is anti product. If the reaction would go through a open carbocation like this, if it would go through an open carbocation like this, then what we would expect? We would expect the attack of Br minus from this side and this side with equal ease, because both faces of this carbocation are almost equally accessible because it is a planar. So then we would expect a mixture of syn and anti product like this. So we would expect the mixture of syn, so this is syn plus anti, because the both phases of the carbocation would be equally accessible in this case. But we get only anti product, and this proves that the reaction goes through this this cyclic bromonium ion intermediate and not this open carbocation form. Another example is if you can use very bulky alkene. For example, if your alkene is a part of a bulky group like this adamantyl group, you can search the structure. This is a very bulky group, big group, and if your alkene is a part of adamantyl group, what will happen when bromine, you do the bromination, this cyclic bromonium ion will be stable and no nucleophile can attack on this system because of these two bulky groups. This presence of these two bulky groups makes this approach of nucleophile hindered, and you can generate or you can isolate the cyclic bromonium ion. So this is a direct proof that the reaction is going through the cyclic bromonium ion. Now for bromination reaction, the cyclic bromonium ion will be generated, but if you do iodination reaction you will see that. So if you have a system like this and if you do the reaction iodination, then you will see that the extent of anti product, so this is anti product, the proportion of anti product will decrease and you will also get the syn product. So you will both get anti and syn product in this case. Now why this is the thing? This is because in this case what will happen is, so iodine is bigger in size, and for iodine to form this cyclic bromonium ion it is difficult. For iodine it is quite difficult to form this cyclic bromonium ion. So I did a mistake, I have to draw it in proper way because it is in the below the plane like this. Similarly here I have to draw it in proper way like this, and also here, yeah. So this is the thing. So the fact is, in case of cyclic iodinium ion, this stability of the cyclic form would be less because iron is bigger in size and it will have very poor overlap with these carbon atoms. So that's why in this case the reaction mostly goes through this open system or open carbocation form. So this is the thing. So this thing you have to note. but when you are doing bromination reaction, the reaction will go through the cyclic bromonium ion. Now this is the case when you have bromine, and in this case there is no question of regioselectivity, but question of regioselectivity comes when you have let's say HBr addition and your alkene is also unsymmetrical. So if you have normal ethylene molecule and you do addition of HBr, you will get this product, addition of hydrogen one side and bromine another side, there is no problem. But what happens when you have unsymmetrical alkene like this? In one side you have methyl substitution, in other side you have two hydrogens. So then addition of HBr would give two product. In one case you can have bromine on this side, and in another case you can have bromine over this side. So both product A and product B are possible. Now the question is which will be the major product. So to predict the major product we have to do the reaction in detail. So in this case the first attack or first step of the reaction is the attack of this alkene on hydrogen H plus or proton, because in this case proton is the electrophile. So this alkene can take proton either from this side, and if it takes proton from this side you will generate this carbocation, whereas if it takes proton from the other side you will generate this carbocation. You will generate carbocation over here, and here you have this proton. Now if you consider the stability of these two carbocations, this one, stability of this carbocation, this one and this one, surely this is more stable carbocation because it is a secondary carbocation, and in this case it is a primary carbocation. So the reaction will mostly go through this secondary carbocation, and on this carbocation Br minus will attack to give you this product. So in this case this is the major product and this one would be the minor product. So in this case this B is major product and A is minor product. Similarly, if you have a situation like this, let's say you have this alkene, this is also unsymmetrical alkene, and in this case also the reaction will go through this intermediate, this more stable tertiary carbocation, and on this the Br minus will attack. So first step is the addition of HBr. So Br minus will attack and you will get this Br here. So this is the product you will get, and hydrogen will be added to this side. So in general, if you have unsymmetrical alkene, so there is a rule. What is the rule? The rule is when you have unsymmetrical alkene and you are adding unsymmetrical electrophile, and mostly the electrophiles are like in the form HNU. One side you have hydrogen and another side you have another nucleophilic part. So what will happen? The hydrogen will be added the side where you have more hydrogen atoms. So in this case this side has more number of hydrogen atoms, and a nucleophile will be added where you have less number of hydrogen atoms. So this rule is called Markovnikov's rule. So Markovnikov's rule says that whenever you have unsymmetrical alkene and you add unsymmetrical electrophile which contains which is in the form HNU, the hydrogen will be added to the side in which side there are more number of hydrogen atoms, and the nucleophilic part will be added to the side where you have less number of hydrogen atoms. So this is the Markovnikov rule, but we know the origin or we know the reason behind the Markovnikov rule, that the reaction goes through the more stable carbocation, and that's why we get this outcome. So this is important, and it is true for every case, whether you have HCl, HBr or HI, it doesn't matter. In every case you will get this outcome. Always the Markovnikov product will be the major product because the stability of carbocation is important. Now in this regard, let us talk about a situation where let's say you have a case like you have this halogen substituted alkene. So then the question is in which side the addition will occur, what will be the regioselectivity. So let's say you are considering a reaction again with HBr. So what will happen? So two products are possible, either the bromine can add this side or it can add to the other side. Okay, now again we have to look into the stability of the two carbocations which will be formed. So in one case you will have carbocation, this one. So when the attack occurs from this side, sorry, here you will have hydrogen. Yeah. So this is one carbocation, and if the attack take place from this side, you will have this carbocation. Now consider the stability of these two carbocations. In this case between this carbocation and this carbocation, this one will be more stable. Why? Because it can be stabilized through the resonance of this bromine. Okay, bromine can donate its electron, and it can have this kind of resonating structure. So now on this, the Br minus can attack, and you will have addition of bromine in this side. But in this case you can see the bromine is away from this carbocationic center, and that's why it cannot have this kind of resonance. So in this case, this one will be the major product. The two bromines will be in the same carbon. Similarly, if you the another interesting case is the addition on alene. So alene system you all know. This is the alene system. It has the elongated tetrahedron structure, and on this alene, let's say you are adding HBr. So what will be the product? So two possibilities are there. Either the alene can take its electron, take the proton from this side. So what will happen then? So then you will generate this carbocation. Okay, this is one possibility. Another possibility is the alene can take the proton from this side, from the middle, and then you will generate this carbocation. You can see, then you will generate this carbocation. Now one may think that this carbocation is more stable. Why? Because in this case these pi bonds are there. This pi bond can have resonance with this carbocationic center, and that's why you may think that this carbocation is more stable. But the fact is this carbocation is more stable. Why? Because in this case the carbocation is a secondary carbocation. This is a 2-degree carbocation, and this is a 1-degree carbocation, and 2-degree carbocation is more stable because it can be stabilized through through resonance with this hydrogens, the hyperconjugation, and also through the inductive effect. But in this case, whatever possibility you are guessing that this p orbital will have resonance with this with this carbocationic center, that is not actually possible. Why? Because if you recall the structure of alene, what is the structure of alene? How the orbitals are oriented? So in alene we have two set of p orbital, and they are mutually perpendicular to one another, like this, they are mutually perpendicular. Okay, so if they are mutually perpendicular, then think about this carbocation. So when, let's say, this from this side it takes the proton. So after let's say from this middle p orbital it takes the proton. So after the protonation, what you will generate? You will generate this carbocation, where you have this hydrogen over here, and this side you have this p orbital. Now you can see this vacant p orbital, whatever you are generating here, this is actually perpendicular with respect to this pi bond. So this pi bond and this vacant p orbital, they are not parallel, but they are perpendicular to one another, and due to their perpendicular nature, overlap cannot occur immediately. After the bond rotation, this overlap can be possible, and this bond rotation needs some time, which is not a good situation, because whenever we talk about any stability, we talk about the stability of the transition state. In the transition state, this stabilization cannot be possible. After the formation of this carbocation, when bond rotation occurs, then only this overlap is possible, because only after the bond rotation these orbitals can be parallel to one another. Before bond rotation they are mutually perpendicular to one another, and that's why overlap is not possible. So although at first sight you may think that this is a stable carbocation, but it is not. Rather this one is stable, and that's why in alene addition reaction what product you will get. So in any alene addition reaction, let's say you are reacting with HBr, you will get the product. So the reaction will initiate from the terminal, and this side you will add bromine and this side you will add H. So this is the product you will get out of this reaction, and not this one. So another possibility is this. So this will not be the product, this will not be the product, this will be the major product, because this goes through the stable carbocation. So this alene addition reaction is very interesting. Now there are several electrophiles out there, and lot of electrophilic addition reactions are possible, and some are very interesting like ozonolysis and other reactions, which I will discuss in separate video, but in this video I will give a general picture, and I will not cover the whole electrophilic addition reaction in this video. For that I will have separate video, but here I will give a general picture. Now this is the case of alene addition. What are the other important electrophiles present? So another interesting reaction is the addition of BH3, or BH3 we get as in the form of B2H6. So addition of diborane is very important. If you have alkene and if you add B2H6, which is basically BH3 diborane, you will have addition of boron over, sorry, this is not bromine, this is actually boron. So you will have addition of boron over one side and hydrogen over another side, and finally when you react it with H2O2 OH minus, and finally you do work up with H3O plus, what product you will get? You will get alkene, OH this. So this is the method by which you can convert your alkene to some alcohol. Now what is the mechanism? So in this case the addition of this B2H6 or actually BH3 to this alkene is a concerted reaction. How the reaction happens? So again you have to consider the HOMO-LUMO of the molecules, and this is an electrophilic addition reaction. So it will occur through the HOMO of your alkene. The HOMO of your alkene is the pi orbital, and in your boron what you have? You have this thing. So in this case you have the sigma star, sorry I have to erase it, the sigma star orbital, and not actually the sigma star orbital in this case. In this case the vacant p orbital on boron is the LUMO. So this is the vacant p orbital on the boron. You have other two hydrogen atoms over here, and this is the sigma bond of the BH. This is the sigma bond. So what happens in this case is, first electron goes from the alkene HOMO to the vacant p orbital of boron, and then this hydride is transferred to the alkene. So basically we can represent the reaction like this. So this is the transition state of the reaction, where both this hydrogen, sorry this is not bromine, again this is boron. So both this boron and this hydrogen are bounded to this alkene. So both the bond formation and the bond breaking, this pi bond breaking and this boron to carbon bond formation and boron carbon to hydrogen bond formation and this boron to hydrogen bond breaking, all these four bond making and bond breaking process occur simultaneously, and this is the transition state. And out of this reaction you will add again this is boron over one side and hydrogen over another side, and this is a syn addition reaction. In case of bromine addition reaction we have seen that this is anti addition reaction, but in this case it is syn addition reaction. This is stereo specific reaction. You will get only one product out of one particular stereoisomer. So if you use some alkene which is stereogenic, like this thing. Let's say you use this thing and you add this B2H6 over this, you will get only this product, the stereo specific addition of this, and you will not get this thing BH2 this, you will not get this thing, you will only get this thing. So this is a stereo specific reaction. So the first step is addition of boron and hydrogen. Now what happens in the next step? So in the next step you add H2O2OH minus, which will generate this O2H hydroperoxide anion. Hydroperoxide anion means HO2 minus, hydroperoxide anion. This is very much nucleophilic, and this hydroperoxide anion will attack on this boron. So if it attacks on this boron, what you will get? So now I will represent this whole alkene as R, and you have this H, and here you have this OH, this hydroperoxide anion. So after the addition, the boron will acquire some negative charge because it is now tetravalent. So then what will happen? This R group will be migrated over this oxygen and this OH will leave. So out of that you will get this BORH2. This thing you will get. And then finally when you treat this with water in hydroxide solution, this OH minus again will attack on this boron. So then what will happen? This boron will again acquire some negative charge because it is now again tetravalent, and you have this thing, and now this OR can leave, OR as OR minus. Finally after workup you will get ROH, the alcohol, and you will get the stereo specific alcohol formation like this, only one product from the syn addition. Now the reaction may be like the full BH3 can be converted first to Br3. So all the hydrogen atoms of the boron can be replaced with the R group. This can also be possible, or it can be partially replaced, that doesn't matter, but finally you will get this product. So this is called hydroboration reaction, and if you look carefully, this hydroboration reaction is also will also give the Markovnikov product, because let's say you have some unsymmetrical alkene like this. You have unsymmetrical alkene like this, where you have 2 methyl in one side and 2 hydrogen in one side. So if you consider the first step, addition of BH3, how it will add? So it can either add like this, or it can add in other way like this. Now the question is, which will be the case? What will be the case? Whether the boron will be added to this side or the boron will be added to the other side. So if you consider the addition of boron to this alkene, unsymmetrical alkene, the boron will prefer to add this side because this side is less hindered, and boron is relatively bigger in size compared to hydrogen. So that's why boron will be added to this side, and you will have this as your intermediate. So from this you will get this product, hydrogen and this methyl, this methyl. So you can see in this case actually you get anti-Markovnikov product, anti-Markovnikov product. So hydroboration reaction gives anti-Markovnikov product. Now the question is how you can generate the Markovnikov product from the same alkene. So if you want to get the Markovnikov alcohol from the same alkene, that is this alcohol, the hydrogen of addition to the same side and OH to the other side, then what you will do? There is a way you can add mercury, Hg2 plus. How it will add, I will discuss in separate video. This is a name reaction, important name reaction, but if you somehow add mercury to this double bond, what will happen? The mercury will preferentially add to the less hindered side because it is bigger in size. So this is how the mercury will add to the less hindered side, and then it will generate the carbocation on the other side. And now if you add water in this reaction medium, the water will attack on this carbocation. So addition of water will attack on this side you have mercury. Finally the mercury will be replaced by proton, and you will generate this Markovnikov product. So if you do hydroboration, and this is actually called oxymercuration demercuration reaction, I will discuss it later in detail. So in case of hydroboration reaction you get anti-Markovnikov product, but in case of oxymercuration demercuration reaction you get Markovnikov product. So this is very important. Hydroboration goes. Now we will talk about the addition reaction on a conjugated system. So till now we discussed the addition reaction on a separated double bond, isolated double bond. Now what will happen if you have a conjugated system like this, conjugated double bond? In this conjugated double bond, if you add bromine, what will be the product? So first step will be very simple. It will be added in either of these two double bonds. It doesn't matter because they are symmetrical. And let's say if it adds to this side, so then the double bond on the other side will remain intact like this. So now again the question is whether the bromine will be added from this side or from this side. So we can have two possibilities: either you can have this carbocation, or you can have this as your carbocation. Now obviously this carbocation is much more stable because it has resonance stabilization like this, but this carbocation doesn't have any resonance stabilization. So surely it will go through this carbocation. Now the second question is whether your Br minus, which is generated in this step, it will attack on this center or it will attack on this center, because based on that you can have either here you have this bromine. Actually the bromine is one carbon away like this. Yeah, so either you can have this as your product if the bromine attacks on this particular carbon, or you can have this as your product. So the two bromine atoms can be added consecutive carbon atoms or separated by these 4 carbon atoms. So these two products are possible. Now both can be formed depending on the reaction condition. So if you do the reaction at low temperature, you will get this product, but if you do the reaction for longer times and high temperature, you will get this as your product. So this is the TCP, the thermodynamically controlled product, and this is called KCP, kinetically controlled product. So attack on bromine on this center is faster because this center has more positive character. As it is close to this bromine, it will drag electron from this center. So basically if you consider this carbocationic structure, this resonance structure, this bromine will drag electron through inductive effect from this center, and it will generate a more positive character here. So due to the more positive character of the center, bromine is inherently attracted more to this particular center, and that's why it is called kinetic product. The attack on this center is faster, but attack on this particular center and generation of this product is more stable. This product is thermodynamically more stable as it has more substituted double bond. In this case your double bond has only one substitution, but here you have 2 substitutions. So this double bond is more substituted, and that's why it is more stable. So this is called thermodynamic product or more stable product. So when you allow the reaction to occur for longer time, then it will go to the product which is thermodynamically more stable, and that's why you get the thermodynamically controlled product. But if you do the reaction for shorter time and at low temperature, you will get the kinetically controlled product and this product. So this is the thing. Now Another aspect of this conjugate addition reaction is when you have unsymmetrical alkene, like let's say you have this thing where you have substituent over here, and now this is clearly unsymmetrical alkene, and either your addition reaction can so in this case I will not talk about the addition of HBr, rather I will discuss the addition of Br2 because that is simpler. So now again either now the question is whether this side will attack first or this side, because 2 will give 2 different outcomes. So let's say first the reaction occurs from the right hand side, and then you will generate which particular product, which intermediate. So then you will generate either this intermediate or this intermediate bromine, this. Now clearly this is the winner because it has resonance stabilization and it doesn't have resonance stabilization. Another possibility is the reaction can go through this side, and then you can have this particular intermediate. I am not writing down the other intermediate, so this I am writing down only this intermediate because the other will not be there as it will not have resonance stabilization. Now if you consider the stability between this one and this one, which one is more stable? So if you draw the other resonance canonical form of this, you will have this particular resonating structure, but if you consider the other resonating form of this one, it will have a resonating structure like this. So you can see in this resonating form this carbocation is tertiary, but none of the resonating form of this particular intermediate has a tertiary carbocation. So obviously this is the winner, and the reaction will go through this side to give you this product, bromine, and here you have bromine. So this is the product you will get out of this reaction. Okay, so the reaction will go through this pathway and not this pathway. But if you have a different alkene like this, let's say you have substitution over here, now you have substitution over here, then again you can have two possibilities. So what are the two possibilities? Either you can have this intermediate, or you can have this intermediate, right? Now between these two you will see that this one is more stable because it will generate the here if we talk about the addition of, let's say, HBr, again let's say talk about HBr, so that's why I didn't write down the hydrogen. So now you can see it will generate this resonating structure, but here you will generate these two resonating structures. Here you have this. So in this case you can see from this particular attack, you have this tertiary carbocation, but none of the resonating structure here generate the tertiary carbocation. So in this case the attack on this side is favored, and you will get this as your product. So this is the thing. So depending on where your alkane substitution is, you will get the regioselective outcomes. So this is the thing. So this is about the electrophilic addition on alkene. There are several important name reactions and other important electrophilic additions which I will discuss later in separate videos, like oxymercuration, demercuration, hydrogenation reaction. All these reactions I will discuss separately. Now let us talk about the nucleophilic addition on double bond. Now one thing is for sure, that you can understand the addition of any nucleophile on a simple alkene is not favorable, because alkene is electron rich in general and it will repel the nucleophile because nucleophile is also negatively charged. So this is less likely to occur. But when your alkene is a part of something like this, where the alkene is conjugated to a electron withdrawing group like a keto group or a nitro group, which withdraws electron from your alkene through the resonance, or even if you have two fluorine substituents like this, then also it can have a resonance canonical form like this, because fluorine is very much electron withdrawing. So when you have this type of polarized alkene, then your nucleophile can attack on your alkene, right? So for example, if you consider the case of this conjugated alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound, so your nucleophile can easily attack over here to give you this this thing, and finally it will take proton to give you this addition product. So this is the product you will get out of this reaction. Okay, and there is a important name reaction which is a kind of nucleophilic addition reaction on unsaturated carbonyl compound, and that is called Michael addition reaction. So what happens in this case? In Michael addition reaction, you generally use carbon based